Supporters of big government and the nanny state everywhere have for decades glorified the imagined success of Scandinavia's massive welfare states, citing Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland as alleged proof that drastic restrictions on economic liberty can coexist with prosperity. In the new book Scandinavian Unexceptionalism, Culture, Markets and the Failure of Third-Way Socialism, however, academic Nemo Sanandaji, Ph.D., makes an ironclad case showing that the Nordic nations' relative success predates the welfare state. Indeed, the region actually provides bountiful evidence of the benefits of free markets and economic freedom, and of the harm wrought by big government. With one of the leading 2016 U.S. presidential contenders, self-styled socialist Bernie Sanders, openly advocating the transformation of America into a Scandinavian-style welfare state utopia on national television, the book's message is timely indeed from an American perspective. But as the monograph explains, Sanders, whose campaign has recently surged past Hillary Clinton's among voters in the key primary state of New Hampshire, is hardly alone in totally misunderstanding the lessons Scandinavia can offer Americans and the world. Left-wing celebrities, politicians, journalists, and ideologues worldwide have also been pointing to the Nordic nations for decades as a model to emulate. As Sanandaji explains clearly in his meticulously sourced book, though, what most big government advocates see as desirable outcomes in Scandinavia, relative prosperity, high levels of income equality, long lifespans, good health, low levels of poverty, and more, all predate the welfare state. On life expectancy, for example, 4 out of the top 5 OECD nations were in Scandinavia in 1960, with Norway at the very top. On income, meanwhile, most of the shift toward equality happened between 1870 and 1950, long before the welfare state took over. Ironically, the emergence of big government even put some of that at risk, along with the long-established cultural norms such as the Protestant work ethic, honesty, social trust, entrepreneurship, innovation, and more that made those advances possible to begin with. Indeed, before the emergence of welfare state policies beginning in the 1960s and 1970s, Sweden was among the most prosperous and fast-growing economies on the planet. Between 1870 and 1936, when Sweden was characterized by relatively free markets, the nation enjoyed the highest rate of growth in the industrialized world. Innovation and entrepreneurship flourished, making Sweden one of the richest countries on earth. Then came the radical social democratic period characterized by an ever larger and more expensive government. Between 1975 and the mid-1990s, marked by the radical, if short-lived, experiment in third-way socialism, Sweden dropped from being the 4th richest nation in the world down to the 13th richest. Fortunately for Swedes, as the giant welfare state's harmful effects became increasingly obvious, the Swedish political class began to reverse course. From lowering taxes and government spending to deregulating and privatizing broad swaths of the economy, policymakers realized that the nation's continued success depended on free markets, not total government. Still, the damage was severe. As Sanandaji explains, citing his earlier research on the subject, the rate of business formation during the Third Way era was dreadful. In 2004, none of the 100 largest firms ranked by employment were founded within Sweden after 1970. Furthermore, between 1950 and 2000, although the Swedish population grew from 7 million to almost 9 million, net job creation in the private sector was close to zero, he observed. Today, Denmark, despite higher taxes, has more economic freedom than the United States. Sweden and Finland are both catching up, too. And interestingly, despite Sanders' recent pronouncements on ABC News about Scandinavia having more income and wealth equality, Sweden still has a great deal more wealth inequality today than the United States, according to a study cited in the monograph. To understand